Hey, Steve, how are you?
He got all upset.
I know why he's into to motivate us, but
Yeah.
I think it's great.
What's that right here?
I was on my way to Spring. I was on my way to Spring. A load of dry product. Phone kept going off.
Is that what you
Finally
need?
read all the stupid.
Do you have an extra one?
I read all the texts.
No.
Mom got all worked up because
I wanna hear it.
the priest walked in.
Thank you.
The priest
I'm
walked
glad for that one.
The leads on there, it's just
And she
You
didn't
can
get
whatever you want, you
So
can
you
make
got
messed
a
up.
little- from what I was reading, everybody.
Don't I look like
got a little
a
worked
messed up
about
person?
it.
But I mean messed up.
You gotta realize
person.
one thing. No, but my brother called and said that. My brother called and said that. My brother called. He texted me and said that he called the rectory and
How are you?
told them about it.
I'm doing all right.
What are you doing here? None of your business.
Whoa, that's not very Watch yourself, Richard.
How you doing?
Jared drove right out in front of you, didn't he? I've seen it. Okay.
Checking out the goods?
Yeah, he was your boy. Hi, Rick.
Three out of honor.
Hi, Gary.
Good, good. How you doing? You all right? Yeah, good. Got home about 5:30, so it would have been late. Yeah. I didn't know.
Hi, Steve. How are you? Good. I feel you.
I'm gonna tell you.
Guys want a cupcake?
I'm telling you.
No?
They're next level.
Oh, you're trucking again?
Hey, there's a word for
All right.
Fine, Smush that one.
What do you got?
The other one.
What'd you bring me? You didn't bring me one?
Hey, we've been,
What? I just need to do this.
Work my ass off today. I'm just sleeping in bed tonight.
They did some damage to it.
woke up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock the day before.
Like us tonight.
Be honest, you can't
That's where Brandon's at. She's crazy.
Hi, Gary, how are you? How you been doing? Good. I'm doing. Working.
My son boss told me this.
Yeah, sometimes.
My car's 100 degrees.
Yeah, I know when you get over. It's 7 o'clock.
What's wrong with your voice?
I've been talking for 12 hours.
I was gonna be here last week,
I
but I
was
couldn't make it.
Did
because
you
I
know
worked.
Alex today? I don't know if I'm getting for one. I was looking along.
this week?
Yeah.
My
Well,
last
last
one
week was
keeps
supposed to-
pop.
You were 32 or
Like today, I was just
I
working
know that, you
on
know why,
troubleshooting
because I
books.
made damn sure of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I figured since I was talking,
I was gonna get rid of it.
it's alright. I think it's gonna be better now.
Thank you very much.
By the time I get
Where? It's my favorite.
I think you're, I think.
Oh, I was off work for 2 weeks, Fourth of July. So I'm just
Urgent care.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's crystal. Alright, same
Same thing,
thing.
urgent care.
I run 5 furnaces, so.
Oh, yeah, what about?
Real hot place to work. They run about
It's been
17
coming along, really.
degrees all night long. Open one of those up and they're already hot.
Oh, really?
You know it's hot when you open the furnace and it dries you off. You're sweating and all of a sudden you dry.
What night?
You're
Now what you got to the doctor had to raise it. Yeah, I had one,
Got another guy in there,
when I
he
got
runs a
pushed
push
for
for us.
doctor's gonna kick me out.
I said,
And it's like once every 12
I
minutes.
said, no.
as a guy, we always in the same thing here.
What is that? But I was saying, I was saying, I was working on the found it already.
It's not a bad place to walk.
Ain't that like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and what, and that like beer. It was
I
nasty.
think we're gonna,
Getting real slow though.
I used to have that like, now I got.
A lot of places are slowing down right
I
now.
had a schedule for every Friday.
That's why I just, I mean,
I had-
thank you,
It's so
Russell.
slow, I
had-
How much money am I going to invest in?
We had a weekly shutdown in July.
No, I do not. I know it looked good,
I'm
but
afraid,
I
I'm
don't
afraid they're gonna do more of that.
miss you though. You know what? Yes, you very much. Now, I don't get over it. Never let you know that shit.
I'm Gary, an alcoholic. I'd like to welcome everyone here to the Friday night group of Alcoholics Anonymous. Those who wish, we'll open the meeting with serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for a membership. We are self-supporting to your own contributions. A is not aligned with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy. Neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics achieve sobriety. I'll ask my friend Richard to read how it works.
Richard Alcoholic.
Hey, Richard.
How it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates. They are not at all because have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. And some of these we bought. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. So let's try to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. There's one who has all power. Don't is God, and then you find him now. Have measures about us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took which are suggested as a program of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe the power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood it. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all the defects of character. 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when they do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory. When we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry the message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Many of us exclaim, what an order, I can't go through with it. Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to go along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, chapter 2 Gnostic, our personal adventures before and after, make clear 3 pertinent ideas. A, that we are alcoholics, we cannot measure our own lives. B, that probably no human person could have relieved our alcoholism. see that God could end with your thoughts.
Thank you, Richard. I'll ask my friend Tom to read the traditions.
Tom, alcoholic.
Tom.
12 traditions. 1, our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. 2, for our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God as he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are the trusted servants, they do not govern. 3, the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. 4, each group should be autonomous, except in matters such as other groups or AA as a whole. 5, each group has but one primary purpose, to carry its message to the alcoholics that still suffer. 6, an AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name in any related facility or outside enterprise. This problem with money, property, and prestige diverted us on the primary purpose. 7, every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8, Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9, AA ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10, Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion outside issues, hence the AA name ought never be drawn to public controversy. 11, our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need to always maintain personal anonymity in the level press, radio, and film. 12, anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all traditions, other reminding us to place principles before personalities.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. I'll ask Tony to read the promises.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm an addict and an alcoholic.
Tony.
The promises. The spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. Unless one's family expresses a desire to live upon spiritual principles, we think we ought not to encourage them. We should not talk incessantly to them about spiritual matters. They will change with time. Our behavior will convince them more than our words. We must remember that 10 or 20 years of drunkenness would make a skeptic out of anyone. There may be some wrongs we can never fully right. We don't worry about them if we can honestly say to ourselves that we would right them if we could. Some people cannot be seen. We send them an honest letter. And there may be a valid reason for postponement in some cases, but don't delay if it can be avoided. We should be sensible, tactful, considerate, and humble without being servile or scraping. As God's people, we stand on our feet. We don't crawl before anyone. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They're being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them.
Thank you, Tony. I'll ask Wes to read the reflections.
My name is Wes, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Wes.
July 28. Those who still suffer. Let us resist the proud assumption that since God has enabled us to do well in one area, we are destined to be a channel of saving grace for everybody. It comes from AA Comes of Age, page 232. AA groups exist to help alcoholics achieve sobriety. Large or small, firmly established or brand new, speaker, discussion, or study. Each group has but one reason for being, to carry the message to the still suffering alcoholic. The group exists so that the alcoholic can find a new way of life, a life abundant in happiness, joy, and freedom. To recover, most alcoholics need the support of a group of other alcoholics who share their experience, strength, and hope. Thus, my sobriety and our program's survival depend on my determination to put first things first.
Thanks.
Thank you, Wes. I'll ask my friend Paul to read the 24-hour book.
Paul, alcoholic.
Hey, Paul.
July 28th, offered day, to continue the paraphrase of the The judgment of 12 steps are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than whiskey, than much fine whiskey, sweeter also than wine. Moreover, by them are alcoholics, and in keeping of them there is great reward. Who can understand our alcoholism? Cleanse us from secret faults, keep us from presumptuous resentments. Let them not have dominion over us. Then shall we be upright and free of the great transgression. And I resolve that liquor will never again have domain over me. Meditation for a day. God can be still, and no problems of the world can harm you. Between you and all scorn and indignant from others is your trust in God. Like a shining shield, nothing can then have the power to spoil your inward peace. With this shield you can attain this inward peace quickly in your surroundings, as well as in your heart. With the inward peace, you do not need to resent the person who troubles you. Instead, you can overcome the resentment in your own mind, which may have been aroused by that person. Prayer for today. I pray that I may strive for inward peace. I pray that I may not be seriously upset, no matter what happens around me.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Here in Coldwater, we have this token system. I've asked my friend Jim to give out tokens.
Yes, here in Coldwater, we have tokens to represent different periods of sobriety. Is anyone here for their first drink? I mean, for their first meeting? Is this their last drink? 1 through 6 months. 7 through 12 months. A year. 18 months. Any year thereafter.
Had 32 years last year.
There you go, Steve.
I don't have one here, but mine gave me a lot of luck, so take it, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
How'd you do it?
One day at a time. Not always easy, but I did it.
I'd like to tell everybody I took my 1 year token 2 days ago.
There you go, Tony.
How'd you do it?
Anybody else?
1 day at a time.
Okay.
Good job, Tony.
365 in a row.
That's how you do it. All right, announcements. I'm a substitute chairman for Dwayne. His mom's in I take her to a doctor care, so. All right, as far as announcements, a double anniversary celebration at the Mendon New Beginnings group, which is St. Mary's Giving Hope group, Saturday, September the 9th, 2023. Living Hope Church at St. Mary's, 1125 Indiana Avenue. Door opens at 1, eat at 2. Meat, drinks furnished. Provided by groups. Please bring a cover edition of Friend 50/50 drawing. All right, and District 23 is having a gathering on August the 26th. It's at the KC Geiger Park in St. Mary's at 170 East Greenville Road. Meet at noon, eat at 1. Hamburgers, hot dogs, pop, and water provided. Cornhole, frisbee golf, mini golf. Bring a cover edition of Friend. All right, a new meeting started in Portland, Indiana on Tuesday at 7 o'clock at the Zion Evangelical Lutheran Church, 218 I Street, Portland, Indiana. Each week we read and discuss the conference-approved AA literature. It's an open meeting. That starts at 7. Then on Saturday morning at the same place at 10 o'clock, the meeting that used to be at the hardware store is moved to this location at 218 East I Street in Portland. All right, the 4th annual Redo Recovery event, October 21st, 2 to 9 p.m., Monroe, Indiana. There's information here on that. Also, there's a band that we can get hooked up with Al-Anon AA events in our area. Just focus on that little thing there, right there, and whatever. I don't know. I don't do that stuff, but you know how to do the zap. I go and zap it. All right. The 67th Ohio State Convention is being hosted by the Area 56, which is our area, August 11th through the 13th. Holiday Inn, 2800 Presidential Drive, Fairborn, Ohio. Day of the School of Life We Never Graduate. There's registration forms up here if you're interested in that. Also, we have our August the 6th. We have our district meeting, which is for GSRs, alternate GSRs, and anybody interested in service work. And that's at the Jabez House on August the 6th at 1:15. You're all welcome. Any other announcements? All right. Like I said, I'm a sub.
Are we back in across the street now?
I have no idea. We'll get there. I know we have our anniversary is September the 24th. We have it scheduled over there. So they tell us we'll be back in there by then, but time will tell. We plan on our anniversary will be September the 24th. We'll have flyers out and that pretty soon.
If anything, you can still use them on the Zuma.
No, that's out
That's out.
for that date. So we'll play that by ear. All right. Anybody other announcements? All right. Like I said, I'm subbing for Dwayne. I found that Greg is giving the lead, and I'm glad to see him. I haven't seen him for a little while, and I know he's okay now. So I'm glad to see him here. Without further ado, I'll give my friend Greg from Sydney.
I'm Greg, I'm an alcoholic. Greg. It's been a long time since I've given a lead. I can't remember if I'd given one before I went back out or not, but I've been sober now 1 year, 9 months, and 19 days. How I got there. When I was a kid, my mother had some pretty serious mental issues that I had to deal with myself. She liked attention from men, so she would bring men home, and so I wouldn't tell. She would buy me alcohol. I was maybe 10, 11 years old, so I started drinking about then. This went on for, I don't know, it was probably 14 or 15, and I just got sick of it. So I did the things that normal kids do. 17, I got my first DUI. After that, I'd given up drinking. I swore it off. I got in enough trouble then that I didn't want to get in any more trouble. So after that, everything was fine. I'd drink on the weekend, maybe once or twice a year. Never got out of hand. This went on for maybe 10, 11 years till I turned 30. And when I turned 30, man, did everything change. I started drinking, not every night, but I started drinking. Every time I drank, I was getting drunk to the point where I was passing out, basically. After that, it started becoming every other day, then every day. Then it just started becoming more and more and more. So this went on for probably, let's see. This went on till 2010, where March 10th, 2010, I had decided to drink and get on a motorcycle. Needless to say, that wasn't the smartest thing to do. I ended up in a ditch, pronounced dead at the scene. My neck was broke, my back was broke in 2 places. I was bleeding from every orifice I could bleed from. The only way I came to was they were zipping up a body bag. So, needless to say, they loaded me in the helicopter. in the body bag still because they wouldn't move me because they knew something was wrong with my back, the angle I was laying at. So they left me in the bag till I got to the hospital. I was in the hospital for a few weeks recovering, a lot of surgeries, a lot of facial reconstructive surgery, a lot of surgeries on my head up here, my neck, my back. But I never quit. And that was the sad thing. Didn't get in trouble for it either because I learned this little thing where if you cross state lines that they can't transfer your blood alcohol level across state lines. So, needless to say, I didn't get in trouble, and I should have. It probably would have woke me up. So I just kept it up, and it just kept getting worse and worse. So, this went on. I've been married 3 times. The first one had nothing to do with alcohol. I'm pretty sure the second one had a lot to do with it. The third one I'm still in, and I'm extremely happy, thank God. But this kept on until COVID hit, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And it got to the point where I was home and I was hiding alcohol. I would dump out, what were they? Perrier waters and fill them with the new White Claw. Just because it looked clear and fizzy. I thought I could get away with it. And I wasn't that smart because people knew. And I was sitting there doing that one day, and I finally saw a look on her face that, sorry, this is hard. It killed me. So, I decided to go to rehab. I went to rehab. Everything seemed to be fine. I met a lot of you guys then. I kind of hurried through this because I wanted to get to the better part that's more important than anything. Went to rehab. I met a lot of you guys. I was doing really well for about 10 months and I slipped. And when I say I slipped, it was a bad slip. First it started at night again. Then it was on to in the morning on the way to work. And I was getting bad. Really bad. It was to the point where I was drinking almost 2 fists of vodka on the way to work in the morning. It got so bad that, and I don't know how it got this bad, but I was actually sitting behind work one day with alcohol in my hand and a pistol in my lap, debating on whether to do it or not. So it got to the point where I'd had enough. So I decided to go back to rehab again, and something clicked this time. Don't know what it was. Something truly clicked. And that whole time, let me go back to that. Let me fill you in. The reason why I'd had enough is because I ended up in Wagner's parking lot in, was that New Bremen? New Bremen. Didn't know how I got there. So I called her and asked her to come get me. All I can say is thank God I didn't kill anybody or myself that day. And I had finally given up. So I went back to rehab, and like I said, something finally clicked. Don't know what it was, but I put 150% into getting sober. After that, I started coming to meetings like you should, paying attention, talking to people, taking it one day at a time. I finally found God. And this whole time, we weren't going to church. I pretty much had wrote God off 30 years ago when my family stopped going to church, and I decided to go back after I got sober. once I got back to church, that was a big help for me. A lot of things changed. So, after that, I just kept coming to meetings. I pray every day. I meditate every day. I really should come to more meetings, more than I do. I know that's a thing. But I just wanted to tell this story because every time I think about sitting in that parking lot, and it was right over there. You know where it's at, Gary. And I almost did it because of alcohol. But here I am today, sober, and I plan on staying that way. Sorry it was short, guys, but thank you.
I'm Gary, I'm an alcoholic. You know where he had to come back to. That's the thing. You know, we have various stories, you know what I'm saying? You know, we have progressive disease and it kills. Every day I wake up with my disease. And I'm just glad to see you. I mean that. 'Cause I lost track of you, know what I'm saying? We used to see you in St. Mary's, you'd be here all the time, you know. But I knew you was doing a lot better, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know nothing about that's immaterial. You knew where you had to go back to. This is where the answers are, right here. And, yeah. That's why we never have it made in AA. I don't care how long you've been sober. We never have it made in AA. All we have is today. And I'm glad you found God, you know what I'm saying? Because God is the answer. Even though we try to sidestep him all the time. Always doing things our way, you know what I'm saying? The easier, softer way, well, he can not drink, but he can still be screwed up in the head. You know, so that was a good story, Greg. It's customary, we're going to pass around for comment. We'll congratulate Tony for his 1 year and Steve for 32 years. Tony, you want to start off?
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Tony.
Your story really touched me. The day that I quit drinking, my gun had been in the corner in the kitchen, loaded for days. And I had thought about killing myself. I'm such a nice guy, I was going to go outside and sit under the tree because I didn't want to make a mess in my house. But when I think about that, and you were talking, I could still taste the gun oil in my mouth. So I needed the reminder today. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Emergency alcoholic. Thanks, Greg. It's good to see you. You said that word slip, and you slipped. And the immediate thing that came to my mind was somebody told me a long time ago, probably, I don't know, probably heard it many times, that SLIP stands for sobriety loss is priority. And that's happened to me plenty of times over the years. And sobriety loses priority. You know, I had pretty close to 4 years in the program from 2009 to 2013. And I stopped going to meetings. I stopped calling my sponsor. I gave away my commitments in meetings and things like that. And I got drunk again. And it took a long time for me to get back. And it was about 5 years after that, 4 or 5 years, 5, 6 years, for sobriety to become my priority. And it took a whole lot of hurt and a whole lot of pain before I got that sobriety as my priority again. And since that happened, you know, I found God. I found God again. And my dad was a Nazarene preacher a long time ago, and I thought that God was in my life because of that, and that's not the case. But since I found him this time, since I got God back in my life, my life has changed. I no longer do the things that, that he wouldn't want me to do for the most part. I'm not a perfect individual at all. And You know, I was sitting there talking to Derek outside, and we were talking about who's going to leave. I told him just a little tiny bit of your story, and it's just so powerful. You know, you're a miracle. You're a miracle, Greg. I'll pass.
Thanks,
Andrew.
I'm Derek and I'm out.
Hey, Derek.
Greg, that was a very powerful story. I appreciate hearing it. We're real close in time-wise, real similar stories, and I was thinking, you know what clicked for me this time around was, Richard just kind of hit on it, was I found God. God changed everything for me. I've been in and out of this program for a long time, you know. God was the answer for me, you know, in these rooms and staying involved. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Derek.
Paul alcoholic.
Hey, Paul.
Greg, thank you. That story was about. I related very much. Last time I was in rehab, just quit. I don't know if I would be still here today. Thank you, buddy. Nice to see you. Pizza. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Paul.
I'm Kevin, I'm no.
Kevin.
Thanks, Greg. Good to see you, man.
Good seeing you.
You know, I have heard that story before, and you know, so I knew a little bit about you know, your story and on your journey and get here, but you know, I was in and out of these rooms for 20 years before I got sober. And, you know, when I see somebody come in this program, one of the things that I always say is that I hope they don't have to go what I went through to get here. And, you know, I look back today and, you know, one of the things that I guess I have trouble dealing with the most is when I was drinking, the people I hurt were the people that I loved the most. And, you know, and that wasn't my intention, but that's where the disease took me. And, you know, and today, you know, I've been sober a few 24 hours, and, you know, my life's pretty good today. And, you know, and through this program and help of a higher power, the desire to drink has been taken away. And so all I really have to deal with today is my head thinking, you know, and that's a full-time job, you know, and keeps me busy all the time. But hey, thanks for sharing your story, and good to see both of you. Glad to see you.
Thanks.
My name is Wes, I'm an alcoholic. Thanks, Greg. One of the measures of a heartfelt lead is some tears. So you showed me that. I respect that. Made me think of a lot of different things. I hadn't heard you before, so I was shocked with what you started out with. And you know, we all have trauma to deal with, and it's tough. You know, there's some theories that you know, addiction always has some trauma underneath that, you know, we can't clear and can't get over. So the only way, in my own case, that I could stop thinking about it was check out. So I thought I had dealt with most everything I needed to deal with. going through the steps the first time, and I managed to stay sober for 15 years. And I had dealt with everything I needed to deal with. And I went back out. It took 2 years to get back in. Call it staggering, or you could call it, I don't know what you call it. I could stay sober 3 months and then I'd do it again. I did 7 times before, I finally got back here. Now I've got 21 months. But one of the things, I didn't plan on confessing to my primary care physician, but after one of my dots, I went in for a checkup and blood work a little too soon, and my liver enzymes were a little high. So, those, what you been doing? And she got me to do what other people had suggested, and I had avoided, and that was go find a therapist. And it was effective for me. I got rid of some of the stuff that I thought I was never going to tell anybody. I'd go to my grave before I told. And the thing that I got used to was that this person would lose their license if they ever told anybody. So, hey, that's safe. I just started telling things I didn't even tell my sponsor. So I think that the 12 steps work with effort can get us and keep us sober. May not may not get to the point of dealing with all the things we got to deal with. And there's a role for some outside help that a lot of people talk about, and I'm one of them. So I'll pass with that.
Thank you, Wes.
Thanks,
Wes.
My name's Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Congratulations. We all got a little bit of a different story on how we got here. One thing we all have in common is the pain and the remorse. I can feel it. I firmly believe God's got plans for everyone, so He saved us for something. When I was talking before the meeting started, there's a kid sitting in Always County Jail right now, aggravated hit with assault. He drove a car through a house. They got him on $250,000 bond. They want to keep him. And he's got history. So maybe he'll get the message. And the other person just before that, kind of like some of us here thought about, well, he did it. He jumped out of the third floor. And I know, that could have been me. So, I get up every morning, I thank God I finally heard you. Glad you're here.
Hey, Jim.
Steve, alcoholic.
Steve.
Congratulations, Gary.
Tony.
Tony, sorry. That's okay.
Gary's my dad, and you don't even know him.
Well, anyway, congratulations. One thing before I say anything about the Greg. Greg. In this room, there's 4 guys here that were here when I showed up in Mercer County. Back up here about 1992. And they're still here. They're still going to meetings. And I know them all. And they've all helped me to a certain extent get where I'm at today. So, you guys, you know who you are. Thanks. Anyway, Greg, good seeing you. Went to, I didn't even know. I was wondering what had happened. I hadn't seen it for a while. And I'm glad, but you know, I remember back about 1991, I went back out. I didn't go out, I didn't go Taiwan or anything. I went to a friend's house and had for 2 days in a row and had half a glass of wine or whatever it was. And after the second one, I had a new sponsor, and he kind of lit my ass up and said, I want to know about those drinks, okay? So, and ever since then, I've had to. It's been a very interesting time in sobriety. I lost my dad. I completed a military career. I completed driving school. I got 28 years out under my belt on the road. I'm back to work now. I had bypass surgery, my God, and I had rotator cuff surgery and carpal tunnel. Had a little bit of anything and everything, but still, I'm still here. I'm still sober. I got here tonight. It wasn't because of me. It was because my higher power wanted me to be here. And I had to go through the knockdowns and everything. But I'm just glad to be here tonight. I'm glad to hear it. I was glad to see you and hear your story again. So keep it up and keep working at it. That's all I've got.
Hey, Steve.
I'm Mitch. I'm an
Hey, Mitch.
Yeah, I've never heard you talk, Greg. This is the first time I heard your voice, and it's the first time I heard you lead. It was short, but I really liked it, and I sat and heard everything you said. And the first thing I thought was when you talked about the motorcycle accident. I thought, like, the first time I heard something like that, like, I heard this girl OD'd from town here, and she's had to, like, get her heart started back up. Like, took her, like, probably, like, they almost gave up on it. Like, she was that close to death. And I said, man, you ain't never gonna go back and do that stuff. Like, you got a second chance at life. And then a couple months later, she did it again. And so, like, that kind of story, like, when you say, yeah, that didn't stop me, like, nowadays it's like, well, you know, I know a lot more about addiction and stuff. There's rock bottoms. There's different rock bottoms for everyone. I don't know. I definitely appreciated your lead. It's very good. I'm happy I came. Thank you, Greg.
Mitch. I'm Andrew, recovering.
Andrew.
Andrew on pass.
Thanks, Andrew.
Yep.
Sandra, I'm an alcoholic. I'm for just lead. I'm just gonna say something like Mitch just said, but short and sweet and to the point, you know. That was a really powerful lead. And it's the, you know, what we have to go through sometimes to get where we are today. But in the end, it's worth it. It's worth the journey. Because the journey ahead of us is going to be so much better than the ones we've lived. You know? And I mean, you know, and I know I couldn't do it without these rooms, but I also know I couldn't do it without my higher power to send me too. Because he has a lot of part in, you know, just, you know, the joy I have in my life and things like that, you know. I love these rooms, I love the people in them. But yeah, you're really powerful. I liked it. Congratulations to everybody. Took a token. And guys, thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
Sure.
Richard.
Tom, alcoholic.
Hey, Tom.
You know, the Bible says faith without works is dead. You said you went to religion, you tried religion, and the big book says faith without works is dead. And you can tell you have faith because you're doing the work to stay sober. For the last year and a half, yeah, you see it works. And things just keep getting better. Don't stop coming. And that's all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Oh, congratulations to Toby Taylor.
You don't pass.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay.
My name's Russ. I'm an alcoholic.
Russ.
Yeah, you said it was short, but I'm gonna carry that story with me for a long time. The visual of you, when you zipping up the body bag and you waking up or breathing or whatever, that's just, man, that's not God. What is?
Amen.
And you said from Sydney? And I was like thinking, oh, that's where I went to high school. And then I was like, oh yeah, and I got my first OWI there. And talking about rehab, you know, I thought I did the rehab the right way, and I thought it stuck. And then, what did you say slip means?
Sobriety loses its priority.
That's, yeah. So then sobriety lost its priority with me. And when you were talking about the morning drinking, I work from home, and I used to love that, you know, very tall glass of vodka straight, and then I could grab a cup of coffee, and nobody really in the house knew. And I thought it was more effective on, you know, at work for some reason. But I just, you know, we have so many more similarities and differences, and that's just a really impactful story. I appreciate you sharing it. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm Greg, alcoholic.
Hey, Greg.
Congratulations, Tony and Steve. Good to see you back, Greg. When you said second time in rehab, something clicked for you. It reminded me, I had 6 months of sobriety, but I hadn't started AA. I was seeing a psychologist. It was after a couple of pretty bad blackout drunks, and I decided I was going to quit drinking. I was seeing a psychologist. And 6 months into it, we were out for my birthday, and my wife said, why don't you go ahead and have a drink? So I did. I started drinking again. And less than a year later, I had the OVI and wreck where I'm lucky that I didn't kill somebody or myself. And it made me realize that first 6 months of sobriety, I didn't really want to stop drinking. And, you know, AA and God will do the heavy lifting for us, but you've got to have that desire to stop drinking. Thanks.
Thank you. Richard?
Richard.
Say thank you.
All right, that's a good lead. Yeah. Thank God he made it back. I mean that. Don't ever forget where he came from. All right, we'll close the, Miranda's chair next month, ain't she? Tell her I'll be down there to open up with her next.
Okay.
All right, good enough. I got a key and I'll give her a key. All right, we'll close the meeting with Our Father.
Our Father,
Good.
Who keeps us sober?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Keep coming back, work.
Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Where's my hat at?
Sir?